Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, traders. This is Abdurrahman from FXAlTareeq.com. And as I'm going through the trades this week, looking for the Super Forex signals for the SuperForexSignals.com website, I am noticing a potential, or what would have looked to have been a potential big shadow trade off of the New Zealand CAD weekly chart. Now, those of you who are familiar with naked price action, we have a trade called the big shadow. And this candle, if you look at it from initially, you would have considered this to be a big shadow trade. But in fact, it is not. And I'm going to explain to you why this is not the big shadow trade and why you need to learn how not to get into trades which will not be high probability trades. First of all, the characteristics for the big shadow trade is that it must have a higher high. It is a two candlestick formation. So two candles forms this particular trade. The preceding candle, the big shadow candle, which is underneath the arrow here, this bullish candle here, would be considered as a big shadow candle. It must have a higher high and a lower low. Now the preceding candle has a high of 92.34. and the so-called big shadow candle has a 92.70, so it meets that qualification. The low on this particular candle is 90.40, and the low on the so-called big shadow candle is a 90.28. So it has a higher high and a lower low than the preceding candle. That meets the qualification or the characteristics for a big shadow trade. Now, it also printed clearly on the support and resistance level here at the 90.36. So again, another sign as a big shadow trade. Now, here's where it gets lost in translation. The big shadow trades, one of the characteristics is it must be the largest candle of the last 6 candles. And when we see this candle here, the second candle, it's about 310 pips, and our so-called big shadow candle is approximately 250. So there is where it lost its characteristics as a big shadow candle, because that particular candle right there has a higher range or a larger range than what we would have considered this bullish candle here as a big shadow candle, and therefore this is not a big shadow trade. It is an engulfing candle, which does not always is not a high probability forex trade. It is an engulfing candle, not a big shadow trade. So those of you who would have considered this as a big shadow, I just went through some of the rules of it, and this is a disqualifier. Now, you need to learn how to trade the big shadow, and you can do that from our website here. That's the big shadow trade. bit.ly/big shadow trade. And if you go there, you will find the course on how to trade the big shadow trade according to the Forex naked price action methodology. I hope this was informative for you. And if you're looking to learn how to trade naked from your home, look no further. Find us on the website FXAlTareeq.com. You guys have a magnificent day on purpose, and I hope to hear from you soon.